Welcome to The Explainer. Tonight, we're digging into the August 12th City Council meeting for the Village of the Hills. And what started as a pretty dry debate over rules and regulations, well, it quickly became a much deeper conversation about the very soul of the community and how you can actually help shape its future. So here's what we've got on tap. We're going to start with a huge debate over zoning that could really change the face of the village. Then we'll get into some future planning, run through a few quick community updates, check out a new way to attend meetings, and wrap up with why your involvement is really the key to all of this. Okay, let's dive right in. The main event of this meeting was a debate about something the city has, believe it or not, never had before: a comprehensive zoning ordinance. Now, this isn't just about paperwork. It's a really foundational change that kicked off a serious discussion about what the future looks like. Councilmember Lee really got the ball rolling by asking this exact question. I mean, think about it. If a city doesn't have a zoning ordinance, how does it control land use? How does it protect property values? Or make sure new buildings actually fit in with the neighborhood's character? So what's really the difference here? Well, right now, the Hills uses POA, or Property Owners Association rules. You can think of these as private agreements, mostly focused on things like aesthetics and making sure everything looks uniform. City zoning, though, that's public law. It's a much bigger, broader tool that's designed to protect public health, safety, and it carries the full weight of the legal system when it comes to enforcement. Okay, so how would this all work in practice? Councilmember Lee broke it down into a pretty simple three-step process. First, you divide the city into different districts, residential, commercial, that kind of thing. Then you define what's actually allowed in each of those districts. And finally, you set up a permit process to make sure everybody's playing by the new rules. But as you can imagine, not everyone was on board right away. Councilmember Marty asked the question that was probably on a lot of people's minds. Look, we've already got a strong POA, so is this new layer of city rules really necessary? Or is it just going to create a bunch of extra red tape? And the city attorney's answer really zeroed in on one word: enforcement. He basically argued that a city ordinance is just a much stronger legal tool. See, POA rules are private contracts, and they can be tricky to enforce. A city law, on the other hand, gives a direct and powerful way to protect the community's interests, especially when you start thinking about future redevelopment. And that long-term thinking didn't just stop with zoning. The council then shifted its focus from rules on the ground to a major new building that could really shape this community for years, even decades to come. So what's the next big idea? A brand new community center. Now, this has been talked about for years, but now the council is officially exploring a building that could house city offices and, hey, maybe even be shared with the POA. Now, the council was really clear that this is just the very beginning. Before a single decision is made, a new subcommittee is kicking off a study to figure out all the essentials. What's the scope? Where would it go? What would it cost? And maybe most importantly, what do you, the residents, actually want in that space? They want to make sure any plan is affordable and actually serves the community. All right, now for a quick lightning round of updates on a few projects and services that affect daily life in the Hills. Let's just run through the latest news. First up, emergency preparedness. The council gave the green light for up to $10,000 for essential supplies. We're talking radios, shelter items, all to make sure the city is ready for whatever might come its way. Been waiting for that high-speed internet? Well, the POA has officially signed off. The mayor reported that the holdup now is entirely on Google's end, while they figure out their plans. And an update on that big intersection project on Main Street, yeah, it's been delayed. Again. Citing some complications with water districts and the developer, the new target for completion has been pushed way, way back to June of 2026, at the earliest. And hey, on a final positive note, if you're a pet owner, you've probably noticed that all those old, rusty dog waste stations are finally gone. They've all been replaced with new plastic ones. It's a small upgrade, but definitely a welcome one. Next up, the council turned to technology. Specifically, they started talking about how to improve the way they broadcast their meetings and connect with the public who are watching from home. So the current Zoom-only meetings have had their fair share of problems. Technical glitches, even Zoom bombing. The proposed fix is a pretty smart two-part solution. You move the viewing part to a super reliable YouTube live stream, and then you create a separate, really simple dial-in phone line for anyone who wants to call in and make a public comment. Councilmember Lee really summed up the whole idea behind this change. He basically said, let's not go backwards. The goal here is to make things better, not to give people fewer chances to participate. The bottom line is all about making it easier for residents to make their voices heard. And that really brings us to our final takeaway. When you tie all these different discussions together, from zoning to community centers to how meetings are broadcast, there's one clear theme that runs through it all: the absolute critical importance of having residents involved in their local government. And the council made it really clear that there are ways to get involved right now. The Youth Advisory Commission needs new members, the Welcome Committee is looking for volunteers, and here's the big one. 3 city council seats are on the ballot this November, and the deadline to throw your hat in the ring is just days away on August 18th. So I guess the thing you should take away from all this is that local government isn't just something that happens to a community, it's something that happens with a community. Whether you do it by voting or volunteering or even just tuning into a meeting, the future of a place like the Hills is really shaped by the people who decide to be part of the discussion.